Originally, I was going to do two reviews, but however, this morning I did not notice that New Japan Strong was on a day early. Normally, it happens in the weekend, but I decided to review it as soon as possible with Mutiny. This one features, of course, Team Filthy taking on certain wrestlers like Adrian Quest, Rocky Romero, and Alex Coughlin. But also, we got the handicap match between the West Coast Wrecking Crew versus Fred Rouser. If Rouser wins this match, he gets an opportunity of the Strong Openweight title that Lawler has denied him many times over since he claimed that he already beat him. But also, we got the USFJ Challenge where Hikuleo, who has been conflicted for quite some time, after Jay White made the executive decisions to kick out his brothers, both Tama and Tonga. But the real question does remain: what does the aftermath mean between for Hikuleo if he does win? Does he take over as the leadership of Bullet Club? Will he be able to bring back his brothers? We don't know that yet. But we also got, of course, ChocoPro 227 with two matches, and of course NWA USA. So let's get ready with another episode of the Leader Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with New Japan Strong with Mutiny. Our opening match is Team Filthy, consistent of Limelight, Black Tiger, or as Kevin Kelly likes to call Underground Black Tiger, and of course JR Kratos taking on Adrian Quest, Alex Coughlin, and Rocky Romero. Now keep in mind there is still frictions between Rocky and Black Tiger. As you know, Rocky's past history as Black Tiger has never gone away. But however, JR Kratos is still gunning for Alex Coughlin. As you remember, Alex Coughlin defeated JR Kratos, embarrassing him, which allowed him to graduate from the New Japan LA Dojo in persistence. But however, it was Alex Coughlin who picked up the victory for his team when he, in fact, German suplexed Danny Limelight and his shoulders were down 1, 2, 3. But however, JR Kratos wanted to dismantle Alex Coughlin. He hasn't forgotten what he did to him. That has been shaking him to the core. But what he did, he put him right through a steel chair, right in the spine. They don't know if he's gonna be how long he's gonna be out again, but this time. But you know for a fact, once Coughlin is cleared, he will be coming back for revenge against JR Kratos. Now our next match, as you know, Fred Rouser has been wants to get another shot of the Strong Openweight title from Tom Lawler. Now Lawler has already beaten him once, but however, Fred Rouser is the only one in the New Japan Strong history that's ever pinned Lawler. Rouser has him reminded that he is in fact that guy who pinned him. However, he has a task. Apparently, if he doesn't beat the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jorel Nelson and Rose Isaacs, he will never get another opportunity of the Strong Openweight Championship. However, he was put in a bad predicament. It was 2-on-1. He did everything in his power to divide both individuals away from him. Did it work? Well, it did. It did not. But however, the numbers game was just too much for Fred Rouser. But eventually, he lost by a pinfall. However, Lawler decided to humiliate him once again, shaving his head, showing him how worthless and he is the same Darren Young that he remembers. He doesn't believe that he is Fred Rouser. He still thinks he is that same guy he was 10 years ago. However, Fred Rouser tried to keep his composure. But however, Lawler had a different idea. Instead of not giving him a chance, he's decided to give him one last chance under the condition if he loses to him in the upcoming events, he wants him gone out of New Japan Strong because he is sick and tired of him being a thorn in his side. He said he doesn't care if he goes to Impact or AEW or possibly Japan. So he hasn't made up his decision yet. This is a long decision that Rosser has to think about. He's putting his career with New Japan Strong on the line, so we will wait and see what his answer is. Now, our main event is the US of J Challenge. As you know, I mentioned, Jay White made the executive decision about a month ago, kicking out Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, along with Yado, out of the Bullet Club to reinsert the Good Brothers, who eventually left Bullet Club years ago. Tama Tonga and Tangaloa do consider them as traitors due to the fact that they were no longer with the group. However, Jay White made a mastermind to get rid of them and put in the Good Brothers. But the real question did remain, was Hikuleo, the younger brother of the Gorillas of Destiny. Hikuleo has been conflicted knowing that Jay White decided to kick out his brothers, but Jay White has made it his mission to say that he's looking out for him, that he is the future Gun Bullet Club member of the future, which Hikuleo understands that, but apparently, you know how it is. Bloodline means everything to Hikuleo with his brothers. However, he put himself in the map. But the real question does remain: what would he do if he does defeat Jay White? Well, that is the $1 million question. However, he did everything in his power to brutalize Jay White. But however, Jay White, who is that good of a wrestler, use every counter to ensure he doesn't get it. However, he was able to apply the Blade Runner and win the match in that fashion. However, he asked him to raise him up, which he did. Looks like blood is thicker than water. So that means he abandons his way of his brothers to get them back. So he turns his back on now Tama and Tonga. But the real question is, how would they feel about it? Because as you know, Balak Fale is amongst the family as well. So we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully things will be changing for Hikuleo, but we don't know for sure. But we'll see when that day comes. So let's move on right now with ChocoPro. Okay, ChocoPro 227. Opening match, we have, of course, Shin Suzuki teaming up with Masahiro Takanashi. Now, Shin has teamed up with Masa before, but that was in trios actions in the Got to Move show where he ended up in the losing position. Of course, Chris Brooks upset. However, Shin Suzuki revealed that he is a big fan of Masahiro Takanashi, who's his wrestler, but it makes sense because I have noticed the gear is almost the same, so maybe he wanted to be him. However, this is an opportunity for him to hopefully pick up a win where he takes on Sayaka Obihiro and, of course, our current Super Agent Champion, Balinaki. So this match was very insane. However, there has been moments where, of course, Shin has been improving himself better than he ever was. However, there is the possibility of either Masa or Shin is able to pin Balinaki, there may get an opportunity of a future Super Asia Championship. However, it didn't happen. Shin Suzuki picked up the victory, his very biggest one, onto Sayaka Obihiro, giving them a much bigger W in order to win. So he's very happy he got this one. Now, our next match, we have Chiko Shikawa teaming up with Mei Suruga to take on Sayaka and Yuna Mizumori. Now, as you know, Chi and Mei are almost similar. They have the same energy that they have in order to win their matches, but the cohesiveness with them is so unreal, as you know. Basically, Balinaki talked a lot about them in the past. However, when it comes to Sayaka, those may consider that she has been the weakest link in the team, but however, she hasn't proved on certain occasions on certain matches, which it's no surprising to me. But with Yuna, she knows she can count on her because she has more experience than her. But it was Yuna, in the other hand, who picked up the victory with the Superman legs onto Chico Shikawa, giving her and Sayaka a very good taste of victory. But now we moved into the Jonkin tournament. This was a very interesting one. This one I had no clue how this was going to go, but I was a bit of surprised who was going to win. It was Shin Suzuki. Shin said that he made a promise to his daughter that he was going to win that the piece of chocolate in ChocoPro and give it to her if he wins it. So basically, he did everything like he said he was going to do. He went through Balinaki. He went through who else did he went to? A few others, but the one person he had to go through was, of course, Chico Shikawa, and that's exactly what happened. So Shin Suzuki finally won the chocolate, and it couldn't happen to a much better man. Now, for the announcement that Mei Suruga made, if you guys remember last time, she had this announcement about her little show called Apple and Crew, where it was supposed to be Apple and Friends, but no one believes in it, all this other stuff. So it's been announced that, it will take place in Shinjuku Face. Um, but, however, there was still no mention on what matches. However, Mei Suruga did announce that the first match that has been placed is Chico Shikawa to take on Aruka Omasaki, which is going to be one heck of a match to watch. So I'm excited for that. So I think that's pretty much it with ChocoPro. I say let's move on with NWA USA. Okay, our last review is NWA USA. It opened up with Mae Valentine interviewing Genocide. As you know, Genocide on Power. She had a huge opportunity to challenge for the NWA Women's Championship, but there was a number one contendership spot that was set up in place where she had to face Kylan King and, of course, Chelsea Green. But, however, it was, what's her name? Kylan King, who walked out as the victor. Of course, Genocide is very upset that that did not go her way, but she felt like she could find new challengers to get her back on top of the title, which is fine. We know that she could win this match. She does have the tools and the potential to do it, but the real question is getting there is the thing. Now, our opening match, we have Mike Bennett taking on Kerry Morton. This was another interesting match. As you know, Kerry Morton is a third generation wrestler, but Mike Bennett's been around the block too many times. You all know how his reputation being the son of Ricky Morton, which is great. However, Mike Bennett has the much better experience being a world champion himself, a tag champion, and I don't know what other titles he did have, but yeah. So that kind of sets it into its own play, but it did allow for Mike Bennett to pick up the victory. Now, our next match, we have MJ Jenkins taking on Genocide. This was a very fun match. It just showed how much Genocide wants this, knowing that she may have lost the opportunity, but that doesn't mean she can't try again. So that kind of tells us in its own way. But, however, it was Genocide who walked out as the victor when she pulled off one interesting upset. But, however, his little moment was ruined, all thanks to Natalia Markova, who doesn't have any friends, no allies, no one to bond with. But that was the real question. But what is she doing now? That is something we have discovered yet. Now, Ricky Morton puts out a nice interview, talks about his legacy, his family being there. But there is the obvious question that many of those are saying: is Ricky Morton going to throw in the towel? That is still an open question. That's a question that we don't know, but Ricky Morton refused to talk about it. But, I mean, he still looks in good shape, but we'll see. Now, our last match, we have Caprice Coleman taking on Colby Corino. It was a fun match on this one. I just enjoyed it, every moment of it, because Caprice has been the talk in the NWA. Colby Corino has been jealous, knowing that someone is stealing his thunder. But in the final moments before the match ended, once again he pulled out his little secret weapon inside his tights, in order to win the match. Referee didn't see it, but of course Medusa saw it, so did Galley and Sky. So we'll see what's gonna happen in the near future when we see Kobe Corino was gonna do. But this is not the end for Caprice Coleman. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have more on what's left on Pro Wrestling Noah Dream On, and of course, All Japan Pro Wrestling with the finals of the Champion Carnival. And we cannot forget for the latest New Japan show, Capital Collision, that are in DC. We're going to see some amazing matches taking place. So I'm excited. I hope everybody is excited too. But for right now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day.